What's up, everybody? Welcome to this evening's Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event matchup. We are in the upper bracket final. The two teams who are undefeated to this point are going to be locking horns for a spot in the grand final, which will be a best of 5 played on Sunday. There's a 50,000 rand prize pool. But before I go any further on that, we got the two teams. It's ATK versus Goliath Gaming, the two titans of South African Counter-Strike this year. It's been the headline matchup throughout the entire year as well. Going to ATK's way more often than not, but Goliath Gaming, they're trying everything they can. They've got this new roster. I'm super keen for this game. Reese, how are you feeling, man? You're also super amped for this game?
Oh yeah, Maddie, definitely 10 out of 10. Bill and Ben, the flower pot, man. I am quite excited to see what happens this evening. It's been some very good games from them so far, and I think the roster reshuffle time has settled down a little bit, and we should be in for quite a cracking game tonight, Matt.
Yeah. Because, of course, for anybody who's been out of the loop, Goliath Gaming have made quite a few changes to their roster over the past couple of months. They brought Elusive and Dweezil into the mix. Akani left the team or was removed either way. And they've kind of got a 6-man roster thing going at the moment with Massacre, who's got quite a lot going on with his studies. So it's got Adara, who's in the core lineup right now. So there's been quite a lot of transition going on. Of course, Elusive taking over the reins as EGL as well. So he's trying to find his footing there. So they've got a lot to work through before they can really start to feel like they're in a position to be competitive with a team like ATK, who require no introduction. I mean, these guys have been the best throughout the year, comfortably winning every single event. Doesn't matter whether it's big or small. It's been sort of deemed an accomplishment if a team can take a map off them, let alone win the series. I mean, the only 2 matches I know that ATK have lost officials in the past like 4 or 5 months have been 2 best of 1s. So no one's done it in a best of 3. This team has proven to be the best time and time again. They stand tall when the going gets tough. They still have their composure. They're adding multiple layers of depth to their game. And I'm just so keen to see where they're going to be taking this.
For sure, man. I mean, even in this tournament, they actually haven't dropped a map so far to this point.
There we go.
Not a single map. And even the energy map, which we have spoken about extensively, that's pretty much been their only point of any sort of weakness or bruising being shown by any of the teams. That ended 22-20.
Yeah.
And they had 3 map points, which they managed to still come back from. So even when the going gets tough, their big match temperament is there.
Yeah.
They can still pull it back and bring it back over the line. But inversely, in this tournament, it's been, well, I mean, GG hasn't lost a series, but they actually did lose a map to White Rabbit Gaming, which was, funny enough, Mirage.
Okay. I mean, of course, they made the roster changes like quite soon prior to that game as well, so it's understandable that they would have had a few shaky performances. They start to find their footing. I think they've completely overhauled everything. Like they threw the previous Goliath Gaming playbook out the window. Elusive, who's taken charge, he's going to be bringing a completely different, fresh approach to the game. They're going to be playing very basic Counter-Strike to start off, just sticking to their defaults, trying to figure things out, see exactly what sort of role everybody's going to be taking. But with time, I've got actually a lot of faith in this Goliath Gaming team. And to be honest with you, I actually think they have a higher skill ceiling and they've got more potential than what the previous roster had. It's still going to take a while. And I've actually seen quite a few people being like actually fairly cynical about this team and making some judgments that are probably slightly preemptive. I think in a couple months, maybe early next year, we're really going to see what this Goliath Gaming team's capable of. And I've got some high hopes and expectations. So we'll see how it plays out. Another important point to make with this Goliath Gaming team is Mr. Adaro, right? Who's probably hasn't had the best form throughout 2020, but since we've seen him under the guise of Elusive, he took a short break, he's been brought back into the team, and he just seems to have this fire inside of him right now. He's looking like we saw him playing in 2018 and 19, and he's being that star player everyone knows he's capable of. So I'm really excited to see if Adaro is going to be able to keep that level up.
Yeah, I mean, in the game that we cast, he was head and shoulders above the rest. He had a full 0.25 rating clearance over anybody on the map, never mind just individuals on his team. He's just been lights out performances, at least in this tournament, and it's quite nice to see because I think when he came up, what was it, end of 2018, beginning of 2019, he got his comeuppance, and he's been was on a rise at least until the end of 2019, where we saw him, you know, in other tournaments doing quite well, especially the more major ones in South Africa towards the end of last year. he was making that impact, and then like you say, he hasn't really had the best of 2020s, but definitely like after the games we saw on stream, there's no problems there anymore. They've cleared whatever issues he had, and he's firing on all cylinders. But you know, ATK as well, honestly, has my favorite local player. I do have a little bit of bias there with Blaze. I just love everything that he does in the community, making his own videos, you know, and injecting good content and stuff into the community constantly. He's been just super. He's just so solid, you know, in the game. He's always consistently up there, kind of thing. So I think, like you say, these are really right now the two premium top teams in the country, and it's going to be a fantastic night of CSGO. Should we talk about the map picks, or you want to add more?
The one thing I just want to quickly mention there is because it's actually quite an interesting conversation. Maybe we can dive in if there's a few pauses. You mentioned how like these are the top two teams, and I definitely would have agreed for you like maybe a few months ago. But Goliath Gaming they've been a lot more competitive with the energy recently, and this energy team's looking hot. So it's actually quite tough to try and say like who the second best team is in South Africa right now, because I'd say any one of DNMK, Goliath Gaming, and ATK, not ATK, Goliath Gaming, Energy, and DNMK are all capable of beating one another on a good day. So it's like a very, very hotly contested part in the community and the scene right now, and I'm keen to see how that's going to play out. But yeah, just wanted to add that in there. What do you want to be talking about? The good things we might be throwing into the proverbial crowd a little bit later on?
No, well, the picks, the bans.
Okay.
That have come through, because we
go. All right,
the veto in the interim.
Good idea. Yeah.
So yeah, the first pick was a little bit of a surprise. Somewhat was Goliath actually picking up Dust 2. You said you liked it initially. I didn't really play it because I wanted to rather do that while we were on stream with all the boys and girls. To unpack that, why do you like that pick?
So I've actually, in the past, I think that Dust 2 is one of the maps I haven't really been as convinced on by ATK in comparison to their other strengths. I think Dust 2 is the one map that they've sort of showed some frailties and some weaknesses, perhaps, in particular on the CT side. I think that Goliath Gaming have got a very strong potential to be good on Dust 2. When you look at their playstyle and the individuals they have on their team, especially their double AWP setup, they've got like literally all 5 players in that team are capable of AWPing as a primary AWPer in another team. So they've got an amazing double AWP setup to work with on this map. They keep things very simple, which is exactly what you want to do on the T side. With the elusive calling at the helm, it's not going to be anything crazy complex. They're just going to be keeping it very simple on the T side. They're 1-3-1s, they're 4-1s. And I just think that Dust 2 could actually become a bit of a home pick for this Goliath Gaming team. They've got the individuals to be strong on this map. So I'm keen to see how that one plays out. But yeah, like I said, like the decision to go with Dust.
Okay. Well, yeah, ATK then picked CT, which was somewhat unsurprising. A lot of SA teams are choosing to be defensive first and then chase later, which is, well, I think that was going to happen and be a default at any time. But then ATK picked pretty much one of their best maps, at least from our results, which is Nuke.
Yeah,
and while
absolutely.
GG starts on CT, their T side was really, really good the last time we saw it against Energy. Energy literally didn't have an answer for it almost at all, and ended up after a 42 rounder going down 69.
That's a really good point you make, Reese, because most teams, when you look at Nuke, it's like the CT side is going to be their core strength. For a team like ATK, they don't actually really mind what side they're on Nuke, whether it's T or CT. They're very comfortable on both of those halves. They've got the individuals to also do some crazy things on Nuke, because I like to describe them as like can openers, because you have these individuals who can just take a quick peek at ramp and get a kill and force the defense to shift, or quickly peek cut, blow the door open, take the fight there, run outside and contest the AWPers. Like, they're not afraid to take these fights, and so sometimes their T side is actually super compelling. So Nuke is going to be a tough ask for Goliath Gaming. Traditionally a strength of theirs as well, but ATK have always gotten the upper hand and managed to overcome their opponents on Nuke. So that's going to be a tough ask. After Nuke, though, we shift to Inferno. Now, you wouldn't have gotten any money if you guessed that, because it would have been fairly predictable, I suppose, when you see these two teams going head-to-head. Inferno is the decider. It's the bread and butter of Counter-Strike. It's what everybody wants to see in these types of series. It's just such an even map. And when you have two teams who are both very comfortable on the map as well, you always get an entertaining series out of it.
No, for sure. And it's, I think as we were saying off stream, is the sort of quintessential South African CSGO map right now is Inferno. It's been picked, I think, in 90% of the series that we've gone through.
Yeah, it's a pretty good guess. I would go with the same.
It's up there. Like, I actually just went through some of the lists, you know, on the back end, and with Josh's stats collecting, and it's up there. It's in the 90-something% pick rate. So it's quite a nice one to finish off on, I think, especially with it being so well versed and practiced and understood. It really shows you the I would say the individual qualities of the players more so in this format, especially where these guys are quite waxed on their defaults and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it's going to show individual quality and then simultaneously quality of communication in amongst the team.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see exactly how that plays out. We're going to be going live here momentarily with the pistol round here on Goliath Gaming's map pick. Welcome, guys, if you're just joining us. This is the Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event. We're in the upper bracket final right now. The teams have been playing it out over about the past 5 weeks to reach this point, and whoever wins this game secures themselves a spot in the grand final this Sunday. Be sure to join us for that as well. The loser, they drop into the lower bracket final, where they'll play against DNMK on Saturday. So 2 big matches coming up this weekend. That lower bracket final on Saturday, grand final on Sunday. Make sure you clear out your calendar and join us for those games. And Reese, before we jump into it, what are your last thoughts of this matchup? Who's taking it? What's the score?
Oh, I think it's going to be pretty close. It's going to be whoever gets their like main fraggers online first. So if like Adaro and ADM start popping off on Goliath, it's going to be difficult equally for ATK. I think, though, just based on, you know, the performances recently of Slowy and Fady in the games that we've seen, it's going to come down to, honestly, those 2 or 3 players where we go. I think pistol round isn't going to matter that much. By the time we see the first buy round, it'll be the telling one. Let me say, I think ATK is going to take this 16-12.
Okay. All right, so they're going to win Goliath Gaming's map pick. It's going to be a fairly close one. That's Reese's prediction. We're going to be finding out how accurate he is as we go into the first pistol round here of the upper bracket final. 50,000 Rand event we find ourselves in. 5 weeks have been played out. We started out with 16 teams. There's just 3 left remaining. And Goliath Gaming secure themselves some upper dark control. Blaze, though, already here towards the speed bomb side. He's got some support from Fady as well. It's a bit of a bait and switch setup here, as Fady's going to be taking their attention towards back of catwalk. Although Blaze, he's not playing off no bait. He wants to take the fight as well. So Goliath Gaming know what they're contending with, but the flashbang is brilliant. Blaze is able to find 2 kills. He makes it a 3rd as well. Lines them up and knocks them down clean and crisp, as you like with the USP. ATK kicked things off with the pistol round win before Goliath Gaming could even get into the B bomb site.
Yeah, and that was quite comedic there, with one of the Goliath players literally jumping into his teammate, full dab across his face.
Yeah.
He couldn't see or go anywhere. He was just literally stuck between a rock and a Blaze place.
I mean,
he gets...
check. Mistum has 4 effective flashes after the first round. That tells you everything you need to know. Oh god, and now Fady's. He's just doing aimbot, playing aimbots in the middle at the moment, knocking these players down. He's on for the ace here, and he's absolutely gonna get the ace as well. Oh man, I mean, that was just all too easy. Unfortunately, the peaks weren't very they didn't have much cohesion behind them. Naturally, just an eco round, but that gave Fady the opportunity to just switch from one to the next. So yeah, we go into this first full gun round, the all-important gun round you were mentioning. A bit more of a bonus round here for ATK when you see the weaponry. They've got 2 FAMAS as a UMP along with the M4s, so good chance for Goliath to get on the board early on here with their AKs across the board.
Definitely,
and I'm really keen to
see as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, not at all. Good point. They've got everything they need here to move around the map to Goliath Gaming. And I'm really keen to see how the C side is going to be played out here by Goliath. Already, they've secured themselves cat control here nice and early on. Haven't had to use too many of their smokes either. Still have 3 smokes to work with. Got a player back outside long, and we're going to be seeing a lot of this. Just the straight up standard defaults. Oh, Rickus, what are you doing? Oh man, Zip just sprays slowly down through the smoke. The timing is on point. And Dodaro finds a kill as well. Look at the setup. 2 players pushing through the middle doors, and they set up a crossfire. And it's not even like Goliath are committing off of any of these players right now. They're sort of just playing an aggressive default, getting themselves into some forward positions. And Jesus, okay, elusive ADM and Zipzip, they'll find a killer piece. They end the round. Goliath don't even drop a single player.
Yeah, from that ace before to that round after, there was very little hope for them. I mean, with everybody pretty much hitting shots. Dory even had the drop on elusive as he was coming out of short and still gets traded out. So
yeah,
it's looking like everybody on the server spent the equivalent amount of time on the FFA and DM servers. Everybody's looking kind of warm here.
Yeah, what I will say is that's a convincing round from Goliath from the get-go. Everybody looked confident. Their aim was on point. They were making some good decisions there. Like, that's a really nice start for them here on the T side of Dust 2. Early days, and you never really want to make many concerted judgments off of just one round, but I'm liking what I'm seeing, but not so much in that exchange. Blaze finds one, and somehow he actually hasn't been taken down yet. He has 10 health, and he lives to tell the tale. And he's going to be able to get out alive as well. It is just a save round from ATK. 4 Desert Eagles and a P250, but they found a kill, and they've also got the players on the right side of the map. Oy. As Slowy finds another kill, and he's going to aggress here. He wants to try and pick up the gun, but it's the poison chalice that he gets baited in by. Goliath don't really have a choice here. They have to commit to the safe side. And Doe with the P250 finds Zip, but elusive with the quick double kill. He's going to have to double up on that double and find a quad kill in the round to salvage it for his team. Oh man, I was singing Goliath's praises, saying how nice that first gun round is, but against the eco, they're shaking. It's the EGL left with 21 points of health to try and quad kill clutch this round out. Should never have gotten to this point, but Fady standing in no man's land, perhaps a bit of an off angle. I like that pathing there from elusive as he goes around the car, and then he catches Fady off guard on that angle. And is he going to be expecting missed him? He's not, but he's spotted him out now. And he has a chance to convert this into a round win, which was looking so dire at one stage for Goliath Gaming. Elusive trying to take his time here, and he times the peak to perfection. Great headshot. Oh, there's the experienced old man getting the job done. Maybe that's a bit harsh, but
he's still sub 30,
yeah,
man.
In
he's
comparison, right?
He's still sub 30.
In comparison to his peers. I did do an interview with him once.
He quit.
Yeah, I mean, I did do an interview with him once, and he did say it was very weird for him to be like the oldest player in the team now. So that's kind of the reference I'm going with. But yeah, let me not be too harsh.
He started young, so it's expected. But look at this push straight through the smoke. Missed him just waiting on the other side. Takes down ADM.
Yeah.
So they get a 4v5 advantage on the start of things. And Goliath bailed out last round by elusive. That was just a deco ultimately by ATK.
Yeah.
So weren't expecting to even get it down to a winnable position. The 2v1, I'm a bit disappointed they kind of stood in the open there, but elusive able to capitalize with that really good position. Dory being pressured here though by this molly. Might be caught out momentarily by Dweezil, who's pushing up. He gets the shot, but he gets dinked for his troubles. Daru helps him out by taking down, missed him. And it looks like they should secure a bomb site. They just need to be careful towards long, though, because there is a snake in the grass still in this area. And Slay on the lurk manages to get one in mid to pull it back to a 3v3 for the retake. Dweezil's very low. Elusive with a nice shot into Fady. Okay. He's taking the charge as the EGL. Of all things, he's not really supposed to be the one getting all the frags, but at the end of the day, whatever works, right? Now, it's Blazes and Swiggy, they get it at the exact same time. Both of them with really good scores on the start of this, and this is the thing that I was kind of a little bit worried about for GG, is if Fady and Slay, you know, pitch up to the game as they are already. Slay hasn't even picked up an AWP yet.
Yeah.
And this is looking quite rough, at least just on kills.
That was an unfortunate post-plant situation that Goliath found themselves in there. Both of them were sort of in no man's land. Neither one of them was able to get back into sort of like a pillar of strength with the wall behind them and able to focus on one angle. They were just disjointed there, and it was just an unfortunate series of events that they ended up in that situation. So, yeah, what was looking like a round that Goliath Gaming had actually worked really nicely with that short play, that cat play. I thought they were set to win that one. I hope we see quite a few cat plays like that from Goliath. They've got these individuals who can just sort of run up catwalk and tap heads as they make their way forward. But right now their choice of bomb sites is the B sites, and ADM lands a fantastic eagle shot there. And he was afraid of nothing in that aggressive push. And Goliath Gaming have been able to secure control of the B-bomb site, but that's a problem, Reese, because the bomb is in T-spawn. Oh man, we've always talked about how difficult that B-bomb site is to retake, but that's not even going to be the case right now. Adaro, the first responder, but does he expect Doru in the corner? It doesn't really make a difference. He's dinked him down 3 health. The support's coming through thick and fast from ATK, but not quick enough to keep Doru alive. But they have swarmed this bomb. And Goliath recognizing they need to try and make something happen. We're going to be seeing a bit of a cheeky boost here, perhaps. Not when Adam's landing shots like that. They don't really need the boost. And Fady's shot's been baited out as well. It should be an unwinnable 1 versus 3 for him as he gets chased down. And these eco rounds are doing damage at the moment, Reese. This is turning into a bit of a brawl in the early stages.
Doria actually, maybe he overplayed there. He had such a good position on them. I don't think they knew he was that close. It didn't seem like it. There was no sort of crosshair placement that indicated that Adaru knew that he was there, but just so quick with that Tech 9. He actually sort of wins the round right there for his team because they have
my
some
god,
good
slowly.
position.
What are you doing, lad? He just runs up short, dry peaks top mid, destroys Adaro, and then just nonchalantly makes his way back up cat. It's a force buy here from ATK. They got a Scout SMG and 3 Desert Eagles, and they've gotten off to a perfect start here. As I said, this could descend into a brawl very quickly. Everything is in line for that to happen. We're on Dust 2. They're trading rounds back and forth. Nobody's got a great economy behind them right now. And neither of these teams are going to want to let their foot off their gas and concede first. There's a lot on the line here, if you don't know. There's a lot of pride on the line between these two teams. It's been ATK have been winning all the most recent series, but Goliath Gaming will always feel like they have the ability to get across the line. They'll never fully be having no faith. And look at this push from Slowy, the man who kicked things all off. He's going to find another great double kill. And I'll extend a little bit more on what I was saying now after this round finishes. As Elusive has to clutch it out once again. And the anti-force buy, he found himself in a similar situation a couple rounds back. Takes the fight with Blaze. He realizes Mistim might be on the angle and his head peers over. And that's enough for Mistim to land the shot. Nice patience there from Mistim, realizing he had time on his side. And didn't get overly aggressive. But I just want to finish off what I was saying there, so it doesn't get misinterpreted. Even though ATK have been consistently beating Goliath Gaming over the past few months, every time Goliath Gaming goes into the server against ATK, they will have belief that they can win that game. That's how I think. They know they're good enough. They know they have what it takes. And even though they haven't been able to do it in recent months, these are the types of individuals who see themselves as the best players. And they'll never be conceding that mentality. And it's a strong mentality to have, right? To always feel like and have genuine belief that you can win no matter who you're playing against.
It's a good form of positivity, but it can also lead to moments of overextension and arrogance. And we'll have to see if they can measure the difference between the two. And in the interim, we have another buy round. Mr. Zip Zip is on the AWP, and everybody has a gun except for Adaro, who's stuck on a dig. They do get the opening kill, which is going to help them a lot in this round. Doru goes down towards the long doors.
Yeah, and check their response. They find the frag and they all just shift across now to the opposite side of the map. And the point of this is to try and spread the defense thin and exploit any potential gaps. Maybe they think because they've seen the numbers upper dark, maybe long can be a bit of an option here. Missed him playing on the angle. The point there was for him to drop down after he takes contact. But Weasel's just too quick and Blaze is in no man's land. Finds himself in transition. He's good for one, but that's a trade Goliath will take every single day of the week. Fady on the angle should be smoked off here, and he is. And Elusive finds the kill onto Slowies. So this is a great job by Goliath Gaming, just punching back with a round of their own and in emphatic fashion as well. I mean, they've only dropped a single player here against this gun run from ATK. Keeping things very honest right now. And Dweezil finishes things off. So Reese, if these first 8 rounds are anything to go off, we got a heck of a series on our hands here tonight.
100%, Matt. It's super scrappy right now. Nobody getting any real momentum. It literally has gone 2-2-1-1-1. I mean, if that doesn't say that it's going to be as scrappy as you like, then I don't know what other proof you need. And quite interestingly, I thought they would do this right before the buy, but I suppose it's irrelevant actually when they do discuss the strategy to counter what Goliath Gaming is doing right now, which is actually quite subversive. They're finding a pick. They're creating presence towards the opposite end of the map to make sure that a rotation is in position over there. So they're making sure that they get the spread thin effect with the 5v4 and then grouping up and hitting a bomb site, which is
Yeah.
really, really good base play for them. And look at this rush up
Exactly.
mid though with the P250s. For
Oh,
the
wow.
USPs, is it going to result in anything? They do get one. Adara and Dweezil are there to clean up. Dweezil's gone quite low though. If they get both of these guys, then they could say, cool, we did good work this round. But one kill, it's not going to be enough to really damage the economy. And it's just Doru left now. And it looks like GG is going to play safe, which is really, really nice as well. No full respect, no overextension. Get ahead and get further ahead. It's the general strategy for any game, right? Is once you've got your
100%.
lead, just keep dialing it up so you get even more. And Doru actually hit some headshots over there. Dweezil needs to be careful. He's only got 12 HP. Even a body shot from the USP is enough to take him down. But Doru can be one tap as well. He does, and he gets another one. So he does manage to catch out Dweezil. He must have known he was there because he had some inkling into it, and it looks like he is going to be able to jam this AK and less ADM as anything to say about it. Is he dead? Yeah, he's very dead.
There we go. So the one thing I will say about this ATK team is it sort of seemed like to me that they've kind of been slow starters in most of their games. But the reason that that's okay is because they always keep giving it everything. They're not one of the teams that starts to falter when they're down 11-4 or when everything's going against them. They've got very calm personalities on the team. Nobody's got crazy heightened emotions. No one gets very aggressive or angry when mistakes are made. It's very neutral, and that environment means that no matter what the game situation is, everybody still knows what's required of them, and they don't start letting that get to their head. So it's something I've spoken to about a lot of the players in South Africa. Is like even when you get a lead against ATK, they don't get flustered and you don't start to break them. They just always keep coming at you. So yeah, this is going to be a marathon that Goliath Gaming have to give 100% to the entire time. If they let their foot off their gas at all, if they start changing what's working for them because they're feeling overly confident, ATK will punish them for that and get themselves back into the game off the back of it. So point being, you can never ever let ATK off the hook. And although they could be slow starters, they have the mentality to always keep themselves in the fight if they fall behind. So, going to be a double save here, understandably so. Only going to get $2,400 if they lose this round, which is of course surely the inevitability at this point. Inevitable, yeah, that's the one. Or is it? Because Slowy once again with the Desert Eagles opened things up, and we saw the last time that happened, they went on to win the round.
Well, the base $700 you can spend in CSGO, as far as I'm concerned, is the dig, and having prowess with that can net you a Fady is in a great position here for Elusive, but he's not going to get the drop on him, and Elusive is just cleaning up right now. 13 for 6. Will he make it 14? No, Blaze with the AK brings it back to a 3-on-3.
Yeah,
and with Dweezil low, it's actually quite an equilibrium.
What
in
a
equilibrium,
position.
And now he gets the bomb. He gets the info as well.
Yeah, gets the info. Such a nice off angle that he was using there. My word, Zipzip did not at all expect that. Blaze making his way forward. He's going to get caught off now by Dweezil hugging the wall. And that leaves Mr. Malone in 1 versus 2. But this is a very winnable 1 versus 2. Even though he only has the Desert Eagle, both of these players are just one body shot away from being taken down. And he's making his way up forward here. Oh man, how did Goliath Gaming work this one? They're both on the bomb site together. Missed him on the edge of the smoke. Waits for Dweezil to come forward, and there we go. Oh man, no opportunity to trade. Neither one of those Goliath Gaming players were actually even able to fire off a shot there before they get taken down by Mr. Desert Eagle. So, I was saying, Reese, you can't afford to let ATK off the hook. It's happened twice now where Goliath Gaming have lost these rounds against Desert Eagles or Ecos. It's just sacrilege. You can't afford to do it. You really, really can't. ATK will always come back to punish you.
And punish they have, and winning the round with their accrued loss bonus meant that some of these players started with 7k. They managed to net themselves an AWP, so you can see like Mistim and Slowy still have quite a decent amount of money, and it's sort of reset that 2 in a row that Goliath were coming off of, where they had only lost 3 players. So they were setting themselves up for quite a nice economic advantage if they had won the anti-eco, but losing it has basically reset them. And this is so far the most important gun run of the half. Whoever
Yeah.
loses this is on a double save, and probably going to lose those rounds. Well, unless we see crazy things like that again. Slowly gets taken down early. I didn't actually see where that
Yeah, that was towards long.
happened.
Elusive had the AWP, he had the spawn, and he had the angle. And how did Goliath Gaming use this advantage? I'm really keen to see. Are they going to be committing to long here? Because they still have two players coming through middle as well. ADM and Adara, they've got this crossfire setup, something clearly that they like doing, and it works to perfection because Mistim doesn't realize anyone's come through mid, and with the tiniest of angles, ADM takes him down. Seems like Goliath are going to be persisting with the A site though, or are they? No. The decision to re-rotate around is actually the right call as they start making their way back towards the B bomb site. ADM finding another kill. Great work by him to create this opportunity for the team. And Fady's just desperately trying to get across. Oh, and he's actually been able to, but Adara with the sound cues will be punishing him. And he spotted out Blaze as well, and Blaze is trapped. He's going to drop a smoke to give himself some room to work with, but this is a round over for sure. Love this from Goliath Gaming. Nice mid-round decision-making there as well. Adara and ADM, instead of just being your sort of traditional short players when you've got the long players pushing up, they send this duo crossfire up middle, and Blaze does get caught off, but this is looking nice from ADM and Adara. I'm really liking the sort of double mid play they're making together. So there we go. Goliath with the round back once again. ATK have won 3 of the past 9 rounds, all right? And every time they've won a round, Goliath Gaming have won the round immediately afterwards. So this is a great job by Goliath to maintain this pressure. Seems like Goliath are having a better fortune in the gun rounds than they are on the anti-ecos. Let's hope that's not going to be continuing to be the case here once again. There's a bit of a crunch coming on Upper Dark here, but this time it's Goliath Gaming who find the frags. And it should be round over. So Reese, this is a good start here from Goliath on the T side. Putting a bit of distance between themselves and ATK now, finding their footing, getting their confidence here on Dust 2. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
100%, and just so much damage. I mean, being done by the EGL. And still, even with that being considered, his mid-round calls, as you said, have been really, really good, and they're not taking any foolish chances or just being like, oh, it's just one guy, let's just all push him. No, we're going to make you play into us. The way they're playing is sort of the description of how Iceman flew in Top Gun. They're waiting for you to make a mistake and then capitalize. They're playing perfectly until you make a mistake and then capitalize on top of that.
Yeah.
And it's so far it is looking really, really solid. All of them pretty much are positive as well, on their KD, which is fantastic. Doru having a little bit of a slow start over on ATK side, dying a lot as well, not really accruing any money or anything for his team simultaneously. It's definitely, I think, in South Africa, it can be, Dust 2 especially, can be a bit more T dominant because we're a very attacking natured community. Attacking CS, like what we saw on Vertigo, for instance, even yesterday. We are very attacking centric. We prefer to be on T, attacking in.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that's a good point. And where you really see that playing out is on the CT side, because on the CT side of Dust, you don't really have any aggressive options. So sometimes we see teams trying to force the issue, pushing up short without support, pushing up a dark, and oh my word, there's some kills traded there. I'm not sure ADM gets the short end of the stick, but I agree with that sentiment. I think that the teams are more comfortable on the T side, even though ATK picked the CT side, right? Which kind of plays against what we're saying, but I think that's a reason that teams struggle on the CT side in South Africa, is because there aren't many options on the CT side. You can't really make many plays. Like, this is a play that Mistim is making now Upper Dark, and it's just such a gamble. Because if he's on any angle that you're not immediately checking as you come through, you're dead every single time. But again, it's gotten interesting. It's just an eco round for ATK, and they've been able to bring it into the 2 versus 2. How on earth does this keep on happening? And Doru, he's going to be spotting the bomb out here. He might even catch Adaro off. Adaro just going to be spotting him in time, commits to the spray, and thankfully for him, he's able to get the kill, but he's not out of danger just yet, though, because Blaze has pushed through long doors. He's going to be hearing the sound cues, but Adaro is quick on the trigger. So just something else I wanted to touch on. You were just talking about Elusive as the IGL. We have quite a bit of an interesting inter-IGL battle going on here as well, with the old guard versus the new Elusive, one of the seasoned veterans, one of the most decorated players in South African Counter-Strike. He's done it all. And going up against Mistim, the IGL of ATK. one of the new up-and-coming players. I say new up-and-coming. I mean, the wealth of his career is still ahead of him right now. The best years are still ahead of him, and he's just finding his footing and seeing exactly what sort of an IGL he's going to be in his career. But he's really shown his capabilities with this ATK team. A lot of credit needs to be given to him. I think often when you think of ATK, it's Slowy, it's Fady, the fraggers, but we need to think of the mastermind behind it all as well. But right now, the mastermind in the round is Slowy, as he finds the opening pick towards long.
T's just opting to slow down a little bit on the after that. Let's not rush in and throw away the round in our lives. Use our util to try and display some CTs and get a pick before we push, because 4v5 push is not the hardest for T's, but it would be just that much easier if they were slightly thinner spread, and Slowly too sharp to the plays through the mid doors is able to get a second, and that puts Goliath now in a 3v5, and they've won from here before on the back of some really good plays from Elusive. So we'll have to see if they can convert this one, but it just gets that much harder as Fady gets another one in mid. There is another scuffle happening over there because the bomb's now been dropped just on the wrong side of the doors. They do manage to retrieve it and go back into B lowers, but it's just two now of them, and the CTs are starting to wrap from all angles. Look at Blaze's position. He's already at the top of mid, so they have to push forward into B, and it's a horrible place to be pushing into right now. There's a trade of damage. Miston comes out on top. He goes for the spray through the smoke because he knows that there's another man there who's low, and they managed to clean it up. And a nice clean round from them, and they're first in the last 4. So whatever they discussed during that break, I think worked out quite nicely. And I think what changed, just looking at it objectively from round to round, was the crossfire positions and the cover and the call for support was there. So he was up towards A, getting kills, you know, at mid doors, because he was there in position to support.
Absolutely. On top of that, they also got the double orb set up in play for the first time, but one of those orbs has been dispatched off by Dweezil using the orb of his own, and they know that there's a second orb here towards middle as Fady just rattles the shots off, and ADM misses the timing, and there's no trade available either. So that's a big kill that comes through for ATK. That man advantage been negated now, and that would have been a really nice one for Goliath to try and work this A exec with, having that extra player in their guys, or in their pockets rather. So look at the response here from ATK. You got Blaze, who's picked up the AWP and he's made his way up short. Doru playing from the CT stairs. There's a scuffle towards middle, where Dara is worse for wear right now. He wants to get out of there with only 5 health left. Now he needs to rely on his teammates to try and take the heat off and give him a bit of space to work with as they start to make their way up long. There's a gap in the smoke, and Fady's going to be punishing them. So now what was a 4 versus 5 in Goliath's favor has now become a 2 versus 4 for ATK. Last round of the half, of course. Oh, Fady, you can't do it. You're dirty. He actually goes down to Dweezil. Does give Dweezil's position away now, so he has to try and fight his way out of this one. Luckily for him, nobody coming from long. Rickus, he gets aggressive at Zip, of course, with the double kill. My word, he puts himself in no man's land, takes the off angle. Now he wants to try and take the final fight. Doesn't want to give Doru any room to try and work around with and get onto the bomb site. And Doru has to force the issue. He's got the kit, but no further util. And Zip's just trying to buy as much time as he possibly can here. But Doru just gets an angle and takes him down. Great clutch there in the end to secure the round for his team. But nice effort from Zip regardless.
And I think ATK will take that, eh? Considering they, you know, only got to 5 rounds, and then Goliath were already on 8. It was looking like Goliath might, well, they had the opportunity to close 10-5. So 8-7 is quite a good position considering they were up against that. And if they win the pistol round, I mean, they're immediately back into it. But we're just going to have to see how good that Goliath Gaming defense now is. And with the calls, though, I think calls are going to be strong, right? Elusive has shown that in the last half, that he's got a good read on ATK and their sort of positioning. They're going to go out long here, though, and start putting in some damage. Elusive getting the worst of it. They've got the smokes for the cross, and they're going to make it across for sure. Now they're going to obviously plant a bomb, and they've gotten a 4v5 advantage on the after of that, which is nice. But look at this rotation from Goliath. All of them going towards long.
Fady.
I'd like this if it wasn't Fady who's on the angle. And he picks up the first ADM with a 6 shot. He just runs in at him. No pre-fire from Fady on the Glock. And Adara gets another one on Slowey towards Car. There is going to be pressure on Adara here as he gets double peaked.
Wow.
Now there's just 2 men over towards Long for the CTs, but the Ts have separated themselves from the bomb. This could be their undoing. There is a kit available. Dweezil with a kit. ADM's going to be on the defense.
Oh, but
Blaze
the
with a nice jump shot.
Oh
Will
my
he be able to
god!
get? Yes, he will. ADM runs out of ammo. Blaze cleans it
Oh
up.
my word, what an insane pistol round. That was absolutely crazy. ATK with the insane balls he played there. All 3 players dropped down into CT. They completely overwhelm Adara. He must have been scratching his head, staring at his monitor, thinking, what on earth are you guys doing? As you say, they 4 went full control of the A sides, and it nearly cost them as well. Goliath were able to get across. Weasel had a kit. The running out of ammo was one of the players. I don't even remember who it was. Might have been Slowey. And oh my god, okay, with the fight towards middle, just Goliath Gaming rushing up, receive a hail of bullets. They get a couple of kills of their own as well. It's going to be in the round though, but what a crazy pistol round, man. That was just so brawly.
Well, actually, quite nicely there, I must say, for Goliath Gaming is they get 2 kills on that full save, which really actually damages ATK's economy. You can see them stuck with 2 Galils, and there's only inversely 1 from us. So 4 M4s now coming out from GG. Elusive with a little bit less util than he would have liked, sure, but Fady is not exactly rolling in util himself with a single molly. I'm not sure why he didn't buy a little bit more. He's still got 1,400, but they've obviously got a plan. We'll have to see how it unfolds as we go into this round.
Yeah, we sure didn't throw any early towards long, maybe? I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure he only bought that in a flash, maybe.
Okay.
I don't think he bought too much more.
Okay.
But
oh,
it should be enough. They've got a lot of smokes, which is really helpful on the T side of Dust 2. You can get cat control. You can get mid control, and it looks like that's going to be the name of the game. Dweezil here to receive, but he's going to get taken down immediately. Muslim gets traded out by ADM. ADM gets a second in the form of Blaze, but in the interim, they're going on to the B bomb site, and ADM is now moving back into position, except he's been smoked and mollied off the angle. He does quite good damage to Dodoru, all things considered, but they need to be careful, because Fady is going to come up from the after, and he should find some good damage from this position, at least ADM getting taken down. And ADM is going to get taken down. Now 2 pushing back through the doors to come and fight him. So now they know that there's only a 2v2 with the 2 men on site. Both of them are tagged quite low. That's Zip Zip and Daru to go in here. They've got more flashes and smoke, but they're not going to use them. They're just going to run through.
Nice.
And it's going to be to their detriment as ATK manages to close it out. And a little bit of BM there from Slowey. With him being the best on the server, 18 for 12. I'll allow it.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not an unfamiliar or uncharacteristic thing for him to pull out every now and again. Just a couple shots next to the corpse, assert the dominance. But what a nice B-pop there from ATK. And it's such a tough thing to defend against as well, right? Because they're so explosive, they're so on point. Everyone knows exactly what they're doing with that executes as well. And if you don't find that early quick double kill to try and like snuff it out, they are all over you before you're even able to get anything done or get the comms. So yeah, that's going to be a tough one to watch out. You can see ATK, that this is their bread and butter on the T side. Doesn't really matter what map it is. When they start just grouping up, spreading out with their 4-1s, playing as a unit, trading each other out, moving around dynamically, this is when they're at their best. Of course, it's just an anti-eco round right now, but we can expect to see a lot more of this in their gun rounds too. And the CT side is the one that I'm most intrigued to see from Goliath Gaming. I'm a little bit more skeptical about their CT side than their T side on this map. I think they're going to have a tough challenge trying to deal with this firepower that ATK possess across the board. Right now, though, in the retake, they're getting themselves towards the safe side, but the lack of weaponry is certainly hindering their potential. At least a couple of kills do come through and inflict some economic damage. You can see that ATK, they're still going to be at 6s and 7s when it comes to their economic situation. But they're ahead by 3 rounds now. Full gun round for Goliath. They got the double AWP set up now, Reese. Dweezil and ADM. 2 prolific AWPers, 2 heavy-hitting AWPers. And this is a big one for Goliath Gaming. They need to get on the board here in the CT side.
For sure, it's a 4 in a row so far for ATK. Nice breathing room, 11 to 8 as well. So they can fluff 1 or 2 here and there, but by the looks of things, it's far from the plan. Everything's looking very structured from them so far. They're going to try a quick long maneuver over here, and it could be to the detriment, but they managed to pull it off. Fady and Blaze get the kills, and they are going to secure the long presence. They're going to need to smoke this cross if they hope to get across here. ADM in position, and the smokes do come out. If not, with a gap, and that's going to cost them. Dweezil gets 1. Blaze does manage to take down ADM through the smoke there. They're going to secure the bomb site. It is a 2v3 retake, but with an AWP in hand, Elusive's call is probably going to be time to jam, boys.
Yeah, he might try and pick up the second AWP. I think it's towards CT, but I'm not even sure if that's an option. Got an AK at least. Big round here from ATK though, just finding the kills necessary. I love that long take from them. I saw we didn't catch that on stream, but what they did is Goliath Gaming threw a molly, and ATK was sort of baiting that they were going to wait for the molly to sort of expire before they push through. But they smoke it when there's only like maybe 2 seconds left on the molly to catch Goliath Gaming off guard. Fady and Blaze, they burst through the doors of the back of a flashbang, and both of them have got full trust in one another. The one hard clears the left side, Fady hard clears the left, Blaze hard clears the right. And even though Blaze sees a player on his left in his peripheral, he doesn't switch across to take that fight because he knows and trusts that Fady is going to be able to get that job done. And that's so vital because there was also a player on the right. And if Blaze decides to pivot left to take that player down, the player on the right will get the double kill. So that trust in your teammates is so important, and it's just so good to see this cohesion and synergy playing out right now for ATK. That's what makes them so tough to play against, in particular on the CT side. They move so well together as a unit, and it really is a symphony in motion when you see it playing it out.
Yeah, and they pull another one over the line and with 3 players alive, which is nice. A little bit of an economic boost, even for 5 in a row. Goliath has been making it quite costly, so they're not quite out of it yet. And I like the timing on this pause before they go into a force buy, just to have a recount and be like, okay, this is what we got right in that round. This is what we can adjust to make it just that little bit harder for ATK to get stuff done. But with those sort of random instances like that, those kind of plays, which seemingly are random to our eyes, but are probably quite well rehearsed by ATK standards, like you've just mentioned, with how they commit to certain angles. The push up mid, though, from ADM does mean he gets 1. He would have much preferred 2, though. It's not a great position to be 4v4 versus the T's, and they're going to take immediate advantage, push through mid over here. Elusive is in position behind the smoke. As soon as he shoots, they're going to know he's there. He might flash through if he's going to jump over the top and look to move in. Have it missed him, would have heard him. He's in position, and they managed to secure the B bomb side to ATK quite handsomely as well. Only Doru taking 21 points of damage, and it's just 3 of them left with a FAMAS, an AK, and an AWP. They do have a kit, but a little bit light on util. 2 flashes, a nade, and a smoke. They're going to decide against it and go with another save, but that means that they're going down 13-8 here, Matt.
Yeah, ATK, they are being absolutely relentless in their approach. They are ruthless right now. The way they're just charging around the map with 4 players holding hands as they push forward. They're trying to isolate these CT players so they can take fights with only 1 person at a time. They overwhelm him with the firepower and the numbers. And it's something Goliath are struggling to come to terms with right now. As you say, ADM gets 1, but that's a 1-for-1 trade that ATK will take every day of the week because it enables them to push up onto the B bomb site. So Goliath Gaming are going to have to start to deal with this crazy aggression. They have to find a way to shut them down as they try and push through the choke points. I would suggest maybe just holding onto the util a little bit longer. Once you see that presence coming through, you drop the molly, maybe try and segregate a few players. And support is vital now as well. When the T's are playing this approach, you want to try and have your players in positions to trade one another out. But when you got Fady just doing those sorts of things, how on earth do you even account for that on the CT side? By himself, charges out long, throws util for himself, gets a pick, and now look at what the Suns have set up. It's actually quite a good read from Goliath on this occasion. They still have 2 players towards B and 1 in CT. They're preempting ATK going towards the B bomb site because they got the early pick towards long, and that's exactly what the case is right now, as they're trying to edge their way through middle doors. Still enough time for them to change things up, though, and re-establish their position. Because right now, the A bomb site is certainly primed and ready for the taking, but Slowy doesn't really care. The patience pays off for him. Doesn't land the flick, though. But it's okay, because he's sort of just faking right now and keeping this player on the B bomb side while his teammates make their way towards A. Big flank coming through from Zip right now. He's going to be catching Doru off. Doru nearly turns and burns him, but not going to be able to get the job done. However, in the meantime, ATK, they've taken control. They've made moves. They've secured the A site. And this should be round over again. Goliath Gaming with a tough retake ask. And this was a full gun round again. There's not enough for the players to all buy. Unless they save a few weapons, they can subsidize their economy. But they're trapped. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Weasel's been spotted out from CT. And Fady's going to rob Slowy of the kill. But in the end, neither of them are really going to care. And Zipsup with his tail between his legs is just going to try to save this rifle. And he's been spotted out as well. Goes back for the kill. Maybe hanging around a bit longer than he should. Well, I think he's going to be able to take the gun, but Reese, this is just absolutely ruthless from ATK.
ATK putting on quite the clinic right now. Oh, that was close.
Oh,
so
man.
Almost got another one, but yeah, it's a clinic of CSGO right now. I mean, even on the after that bomb plant, Slowy manages to keep his position in mid, unbeknownst to the Goliath team. A player runs through the middle doors and he gets a free kill. So even their hopes of doing a retake just become that much harder. ADM starts off with a nice kill. He manages to get one onto Slay on the pistol, on the pixel peak at least. And that's a much better start than we've seen from them. And Dweezil with another one. This early aggression could be working out. He's going to get flashed here though. And he's going to hit another one onto Blaze and another one onto Mistim. This is much better from GG. This is just a little bit of a change up, just some sudden aggression towards ATK, not showing them respect. And it should have actually come out just a little bit earlier, all things considered, because they could have changed pace just a little bit earlier. 14-8 down. I mean, even losing this round, ATK aren't going to be too bothered by it. As they die here, you're going to see an 11,000 on Blaze. He's going to be able to drop for Doru. The only man on the team isn't able to buy for himself. They'll have absolutely everything that they need. And Goliath doesn't really have rounds on hand to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of the first time, as you say, we've seen some sort of aggression out of Goliath Game on the CT side. And I agree, I think it might be a little bit late to have tried that, because look how nicely it worked for them. I suppose hindsight does have 20/20 vision, but they just show a little bit more of a proactive nature in the defense, you know, pushing up short, taking an aggressive angle, finding the picks, letting the AWPs actually get in the mix, not just sitting back and waiting on the angle. ADM taking the fight as Slowy as well, which is a statement to make. I mean, everybody knows it's the CT who's at the disadvantage when they peek those doors. So the fact that ADM wins that gunfight, that's a big deal. So very nice work there. Good way to get on the board, especially because they keep all 5 players alive. So means they get an extra injection of cash going into the next round. Or rather, going forward, at least they get that buffer where if they lose a round, they're still able to buy up, which is really important, right? When you're trying to make a comeback and you're playing from behind, you really want to make sure that you're not in a position where if you lose a round, you have to sort of force buy after that to keep yourselves in it. But still a long way to go here. And now that ATK have been punished by that aggression, they're probably going to be a little bit more wary of it going forward as well.
And that's why I think it's just even more fuel to the fire if it's a bit too little too late, because if you had them second guessing earlier on, you would have actually probably won a lot more rounds just off of that psychological impact of that. So let's see if they can convert another here, get some momentum going of their own. They've lost pretty much all but, well, literally all but
shot Dweezil
rounds so far. Dweezil gets one towards long, and that's going to help them out a lot. And I like this focus towards A, actually. There's been a lot of cat control from ATK, and this could go really badly for them suddenly. Fady does manage to get himself through the doors, but now they're being pincered between 4 players. Slowy and Doru come out on top of it, though. And Slowy
nice.
gets another one. And then there's Mistim getting one in towards mid, and now it's just a 1v1. And it's going to be the AWP Dweezil with Mistim. That just went trade happy all of a sudden.
There were like 9 people still alive on the server 10 seconds before that whole fight started. Now there's just 2 people left. Boils down to the 1 versus 1 between Mistim and Dweezil. Dweezil already with quite a high impact in this round. He's picked up the double kill and he's pushed towards the B bomb site. And he's going to continue to aggress through the tunnels here. Wants to try and get the information. Mistim was holding it, but unfortunately for him, the timing's not quite on. As he starts wrapping around Mistim, it becomes a mind game at this point. And in fact, it's sort of Dweezil who's in control. And if the timing's on his side, he's going to be catching Mistim off guard here. Oh, yes, there we go. By the tiniest of margins, he connects on the shot, and the clutch is one. Big round for Goliath Gaming to keep themselves in the hunt here on Dust 2. And again, it's predicated off of that aggression from short. They trade really nicely, and nobody was scared. Nobody baited. Nobody played afraid Counter-Strike. They all committed to the cause. They took the fights and traded effectively. You love to see it.
Making that one-round aggression pick them up a second. It's going to be another long take over here from ATK, and they should get it quite comfortably. I don't want to see them overpeaking this angle again, though, to be honest. They all taxed them once. It would be foolish to pay the same price twice, but they do towards mid in the form of Slow. He does some damage onto Dweezil, which helps. But now the long push is on. Everybody really is in position for rotate over on GG's side. Dweezil playing close on the side, needs to get work done here, but he's not going to be given the chance. Doru manages to take his head off. Now the bomb side there is for the taking. They need a bit of util towards short, and there it comes out now. And one player pushes out in the middle of nowhere. Zip taking matters into his own hands, and he's going to get himself a 2k for his troubles. That's absolutely fantastic play from him, from literally not a really good spot, all things considered. He's going to be pressured now in towards Gandalf by Mr. Blaze on the side. He can get stuff done here, except for the fact that his teammate's been taken down. Almost gets a spray transfer.
Yeah, I thought for a second there it was on the money. I thought the stars had aligned for him to get the spray transfer, but it's Goliath Gaming who are fighting back here on the CT side of Dust 2. They've broken the economy of ATK as well. And it's a tactical timeout being called by the terrorists. So they're going to be mulling things over here and deciding how to approach this 26th round. But Goliath Gaming, they're finding their footing now, Reese. They're finding the frags. Everybody's chipping in. No one's having a slow one pretty much on the server right now. Everybody's there or thereabouts. Of course, you got a few who are ahead of the rest, namely Slowy with 22 kills on top of the server. Dweezil 21 as well. Great to see Dweezil performing at this level, taking over the server with his AWP as well. And that's what he's in the team for right now, is AWPing duties. And it's looking good. It's looking solid. He's constantly finding important kills with the AWP. And now it's going to be an eco round for ATK. What do they try and do with these pistols? They've got a couple flashes and smokes. And they're making their way towards B early on. Doesn't mean they're going to be committing, though. Could still see them going middle. Do they expect this aggression on short? I mean, Goliath Gaming have been showing that a lot recently, and it's actually the boost up. Dweezil finds another opening kill with that AWP, but that's not going to be disparaging ATK. They're just charging their way up through mid right now. Take9's leading the charge, but it's the frags going the way of Goliath. Oh, I got nervous for a second there. Slowy picked up the AWP. It's still going to be Blaze, though. And they're in hot pursuit, pushing forward. Dweezil's going to land the shot. 14-12 as Goliath string their 4th round together and start to look a lot more convincing on the CT side.
And they need to, man. As soon as they trip, they're going to fall hard. And it's going to be to the tune of map point. 2 left in it for ATK. Goliath still need 2 just to catch up. If they get the next one, it's almost, I think it's an almost guaranteed overtime at minimum for them. ATK will take that, though. They've won from further behind, and this push out long looks pretty good. And Slow, he's going to jump right over the man.
Wow.
He's going to get the first one. Does he manage to get the second? No, Adaru is going to be the quicker, and he manages to kill him. 17 HP left, though, for his troubles. It is a 3v4, which is not the end of the world for the T's. With the damage dealt, they do still have potential in this round, albeit with 2 AWPs to contest with. One on Dweezil, who's top ragging for his team right now, and the other on ADM, who's done it numerous times himself. So, let's see if ATK can convert and look to take this map. Fady playing around with Dweezil's AWP. This is a dangerous game. Dweezil going to push the issue, and he's going to miss the shot, but Daru's there to back him up, and he manages to trade. Blaze is in position to get a trade, so it goes back to a 2v3, but the CTs alternatively will take that.
Check Mr.
Any day of the week.
Oh, there we go. Mr. finally able to activate towards upper dark. He was playing the patient game the whole time. The ADM, he's pushed through the doors with his pistol out. What an absolute mad lad. Oh my word, Dweezil's going to be following suit as well. They're just desperately trying to find this kill onto Mr. and maybe over-aggressive, overzealous. It's cost them because it's now down to the 1v1, and Blaze knows exactly where ADM is. ADM has no idea where Blaze is, so this is advantage Blaze in the clutch. Of course, as soon as the bomb goes down, ADM's going to have a much better idea, but Blaze can go all the way back towards short. Even long is an option right now as well. ADM has hedged his bets on the B bomb side, and that hasn't been Blaze's choice. So he's got a bit of a rotation to make now to try and have a crack at this clutch. He's going to be making his way up short. He's got a flash and a kit, and Blaze successfully has gotten himself off of the bomb site. He's noticed the flashbang as well. Knows that has to have come from short. And now, as this progresses, the odds go up for Blaze. He's gotten all the way back long. The bomb's planted for him. Everything's in his favor. ADM's going to have to tap this and take the fight. And land the shot. Blaze commits to the spray. My god, that was messy. ADM, he's going to just try to swing even wider after tapping the bomb. And he's got just enough time to find the defuse as well. What a big clutch there from ADM to come through. My goodness gracious me, doing it for his team when they required it the most. And I love the fact that he jumps up on the ledge there. He gives himself just that extra little bit of angle to work with because he knows that Blaze is going to be expecting him on the bomb. So he gets more of Blaze's body to shoot at. He wins that gun battle. He wins the round 14-13. Don't go anywhere because this game is really starting to heat up. Oh, ADM? Oh, Jesus. I'm not sure what to say about that one. That was one of the messier gunfights we've seen between him and Slowy.
Big time awkward on that one. To be very fair, it was a bit strange. Slowy managed to only get hit once as well, which is good news for him. Fady gets another kill, which now sets them up on the 5v3. ATK will take that any day of the week. The prime position here to take this round, and they're going to opt to throw it in towards short.
Oh, big kill.
A good place to be taking it. While Elusive gets one,
oh man,
taken down, and now it's just Elusive in a 1v4.
Oh,
absolutely no way he can win it from here unless he does some crazy Zipniks clutch shenanigans.
I mean,
insane.
Yeah. I don't even know if you should be having a crack at this, to be fair, considering the economic situation. It's something I mentioned a few rounds ago. When you're making a comeback, you really want that extra buffer in the economy so that if you lose a round, you don't have to force up to try and contend map point with. And that's exactly the situation Goliath are faced with right now. And that was just such a clean round from ATK as well. Fady with some great shots there to open things up for his team and create that avenue of entry. He flanked Weasel, who was sort of playing with that AWP. He was the linchpin for Goliath in the round. He was the one person who could stop the players coming up short, and Elusiv's going to go down as well. So just the timing on the push there from Fady, it's something a lot of people can learn about, right? Is when to make your pushes and when to activate. Like when you're not part of the group or the core, and you got 3 players coming up short, you have to know when you push through long. You have to read the situation. You go too early and you die, you don't have any impact. You go too late, your teammates have died, you don't have any impact. It's a really fine line, and Fady played it to perfection. And now it's Goliath with the force by 4 pistols and a scout to try and deny map point here for ATK. This is going to be a tough ask.
This is why I said earlier, you trip in this position when you're losing so many players and they're making it so expensive for you. You put yourself here.
Oh my word! Oh my god!
Kills that go their way, which is going to help out a boatload. And now it's just Fady left to clutch it out for his team. What can he do here as he's being swarmed, and he knows that there's one towards middle, and he manages to get that kill. He's heard the player towards T-spawn. Is he going to be able to get that one as well? Adaru quite low, ADM with some HP to play with, but if he goes down, it's tickets for Adaru, and a nice flash sets him up for it. ADM taken down, Fady 5 HP.
No way,
one bullet in it for both of them over here. He knows, he's got a feeling. He's in the zone. He's in the matrix. He knows Adaru has to make a play here. He's going to wait on the angle, and this could be it right here. Adaru, if he overextends, that is going to be the round. But Fady with some 6th sense. He pulls up 16-13.
Wow.
Oh my word.
The Mexican standoff to finish off the map. Both players trying to outread one another, and in the end, it ends in the most elementary fashion. Fady comes around the corner. It's Adaru who has the angle, but he's not realizing the potential that he could be coming from the left. So Fady wins the 1 versus 3 clutch. What a crazy clutch to close out the map. 16-13. ATK pick up Goliath Gaming's map pick here in the upper bracket final. Reese, what a fantastic map. They gave it everything. It was super entertaining. Before I let you follow on, though, we've got a giveaway we need to announce here, because I think we should be opening up the entries before we take a bit of a break. let's let the people start getting those entries in. So what are we giving away first, the Steam voucher or the backpack?
This is a Steam voucher. So
There we
if
go.
you guys put EGL in the chat, one word, our admin, Mr. Nobody, will give you an example thereof. If you put that in the chat, then you gain an entry into the competition. If you are subscribed to the channel, then you get 2 entries into the
There we
competition.
go.
Please also only put EGL 1 in a single time. If you enter it in twice, you'll be taken out. You can then enter it a third time to go back in, but that's a lot of effort. So just put EGL 1 in the chat one time, and then you will be entered into
There we
that.
go.
But I'd just like to point out quickly, Matt.
Yes.
I said 16-12. It was
You did.
16-13.
Yeah.
Hashtag just saying, bro.
There we go, Reese. So the prophet himself, pretty good prediction from you. I'll give you that much for sure. I think Goliath are going to be a bit upset with themselves, Reese. I think they would have fancied themselves to push that comeback even further and maybe close out the map. But great showing from Goliath Gaming, right? If we can just take a minute to discuss it. When you consider this team, they're still in a transitional stage. There's still a lot of stuff for them to work out within this new roster. So the fact that they're putting up a performance like that against ATK on their map pick, it's convincing and it's super compelling for the future as well. Really keen to see where they're going to be taking in the next few months. But for the next few minutes, we do have a second map coming up, guys. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be going to Nuke after this. So I think we're going to be taking a short break here. When we return, we're going to have map number 2. It's picked by ATK. It's a map that they have been head and shoulders above everybody else on in South Africa over the past few months. Are Goliath going to be able to buck that trend and upset ATK to take us to a third? Or are ATK going to be marching into the grand final? We're going to have to find out after the second. Join us in a couple of minutes and we'll be back with Nuke. Welcome back, everybody, to the Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event. We're in the middle of the upper bracket final, actually, right now, between ATK and Goliath Gaming. We just came off the back of Dust 2, where ATK narrowly won 16-13. Goliath Gaming were pushing them. They made them sweat. But still, as I said, Reese, ATK, they always have this knack to keep themselves in the game. Even when they fall behind mentally and when teams are making comebacks, they still always keep their composure. It's just one round it takes to get them back on top. And from there, they close the game out.
100%. And I mean, even looking at the scores, overall, Goliath Gaming actually had the superior ratings. It was just Fady himself on a 1.23 and Slowy on a 1.13 that were better than the top three on Goliath's side. Dweezil, Elusive, and old Zip Zip putting in concerted performances, all getting over the line as far as positive KD and that sort of stuff goes. But ATK just have this knack of taking frags and creating impact, because there was actually quite a lot of saves that Goliath managed to pull off across the map, but it still just wasn't enough, because while you save the gun and you lose the round, that's the main problem. And ATK just took everything they could get. They won a couple of anti-ecos as well. There was one anti-eco in reply by Goliath, but overall, ATK definitely got the better of those meals.
Yeah. Hopefully, Goliath Gaming are going to be changing the tune as we go into Nuke, because we want to be going to a 3-map. We want to go into a 3-map affair. Yeah, we want to see all 3 maps. Inferno would be the third. Would love to witness Inferno being played out between these two teams as well. But stats, history, everything that we have to try and work off says that this is going to be a 2-0 series. We're going into Nuke next, which is a playground of ATKs. Doesn't matter whether they find themselves on the T side or the CT side. They're an absolute force to be reckoned with. They've got the individuals who are very strong on this map as well, because on Nuke, you want to have the players on the T side who can win 1v1 duels around the map. You want to have a player like Fady who just peeks ramp and he finds the kill, creates space. Someone like Mr. More Slowy who can go outside, land the quick headshots, and force the defense to shift. So they've got the players to be great on the T side. We've seen it time and time again, and it's going to be a tough ask for Goliath. But before we continue talking about the game, let's just again reiterate the fact that we have a giveaway open at the moment for a 250 Rand Steam voucher. You have to type the keyword EGL1 in chat, make it one word, and spell out the number ONE. So EGL1, no spaces. That enters you into the giveaway. If you've already entered, don't enter yourself again, because that's going to remove you from the giveaway. And if you subscribe to the channel as well, you get a second entry on Evesports. So there we go. Join us, join the giveaway. Get your name in there. So there's an autumn Steam sale going on at the moment. There's the Christmas Steam sale coming up as well. So going to be plenty awesome opportunities to give your money to Lord Gaben himself. Reese,
100%.
You gave the very near score prediction in the previous game. You said 16-12. It ended 16-13. What are we going to be expecting on Nuke? And you got to get it in, because I think we're about to jump into this pistol round.
So I think with ATK starting on T, it's going to, if they win pistol, I see them taking the map close to a 16-10, 16-11. If they lose the pistol, we could be in for another 16-12, 16-13. It's still going to be, I think, quite competitive. I think Goliath get to 8 rounds minimum, all things considered. But if ATK win this pistol round and they win the first gun round, we'll see a 16-8, 16-9 at the end of this.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, historically, this is a map that ATK have always beaten Goliath on, and it's always been fairly comfortable victories as well. So they're going to have to try and find a way to break that trend and get the W here on Nuke. It's going to be a very tall order. Like I said, we saw it when Energy played against ATK on this map. The CT side of ATK looked a little bit frail, right? So maybe there is potential here. Maybe there are some chinks in the armor for Goliath Gaming to exploit. They do have the mastermind Elusive calling the shots, and we know what a prolific Nuke player he's been in the past as well. When you think back to that Bravado team that played in America through Project Destiny, Nuke was one of their strongest maps, and it's no coincidence that Elusive was a part of that roster as well. So he has a very good idea on how to play this map. He's going to be starting to work out the strengths of his teams and the individuals he have, his tools as the EGL. And I'm really looking forward to see how this one plays out. Remember, I think this is only the 3rd map that these two teams have played against each other since Goliath Gaming made changes to the roster. If I'm not mistaken, they only played one best of 1 before this match, and that was on Mirage. So the previous map was super close. Let's see how this one's going to be playing out as well. Tough draw for Goliath Gaming, but they're certainly capable of making something happen.
Yeah, it's tall order though. I think as we saw as well in that Energy game, I mean, Energy got super close to them on Mirage, but they felt pretty comfortable on Nuke did ATK. So pistol round, about to kick off here. We do have ATK starting off over on the T side with GG on, I think, most people's preference for this being the CT side. It isn't quite as CT dominant as it used to be with the expansion outside, making a lot more space for the T's to work with, giving them options to go down secret or to go through mouth. Definitely helping out there quite a lot to access both bomb sites. It used to be way more choky than that. You ready? If you went outside, your only option was mouth, and you basically just committed to dying to an AWP there if it was on any kind of buy round. Ramp was equally a nightmare. It's still pretty much the same. That hasn't changed too much, and neither has really the lobby push. So we'll have to see what kind of pistol round they go for. Yeah, ATK. I'm hoping they actually do a lobby push onto the top bomb side onto A.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find out what the plan is here. A smoke and a kit on the side of Goliath Gaming. Armor across the board outside of that. Over on ATK, they've got a smoke, 3 flashes, a molly, and HE. No P250 though, which is quite interesting. Normally we see teams sort of investing into the P250 and sending somebody outside, but they've got all 5 players inside right now, and it seems like it is going to be your wish that becomes their command as they just charge into the upper bomb side in this pistol round. And Goliath Gaming are opting to play retake right now, not actually directly contesting the site, giving up the control, and they're pushing up through ramp right now, and the frags are going their way until Haze gets in on the action as well, and he levels out the numbers back into a 3 versus 3. So it's a decent position Goliath have gotten themselves into, but ATK are very quickly figuring out where the last remaining players are. Slowy on the off angle lands a fantastic blockhead shot, and now it's just Adam left in the 1 versus 2. Only has 11 points of health as well. He's trying to close the gap. He wants to find 2 1 versus 1s. He pivots 180, takes down Slowy with a fantastic shot. Fady working his way around the silo will land the shot as he takes down ADM, but good effort there. Really nice, clean, crisp USP tap, but it's not enough to win the clutch.
Was a very sick tap. I have to agree with you on that one, Matt. I didn't think he was going to get it on that HP, having been gushed up. But that's why, honestly, I really like the top take on T, is because the Glocks get quite a lot of damage in at that range. And like we saw with the man pushing out of heaven, he gets 1 tapped immediately. So that's a really nice opening round from ATK. And I equally actually like this investment to Mac 10s and doing the same thing over again, because once again, it's close and there's no armor to deal with. And the T's or the CTs have gone completely around the outside, and they're going to be trying to push in through mouth versus automatics at this range is just going to be really tough. And there's a man coming up behind if it wasn't bad enough.
Yeah, ATK are going to be hoping to farm some kills with the SMGs here just to rack up a bit of extra cash. See, actually, this is where Goliath should be straight up saving, and even though they've got nothing to save, what you do is you end up denying the T side this extra cash that they're farming right now. That's an extra $600. If Elusive dies here as well, that's another $600 which he's going to. So, I mean, I just feel like you don't lose anything by saving in these sorts of situations. Daro at least going to be able to get one, and he upgrades. Oh no, the gun's fallen out of the map. So, that's unfortunate. You don't see that every day. So, ATK go up 2-0, and if they've given us an indication of what their T side's going to be like in these first 2 rounds, we're expecting a very explosive half from them. And this is similar to what we saw against Energy from them a couple weeks ago. They were just moving around as a unit, pushing forward aggressively, trying to exploit gaps. But they threw caution to the wind for sure. And again, look at this. They're going to be going ramp this time. As I say, they're not afraid of anything. Trying to just also take towards the upper bomb side again. And Doru, he finds that opening towards ramp. Even though Elusive was able to get so much damage done, nothing is fatal. And ATK, they don't actually have to commit here. They do have the choice to just go back up towards the A side if they want, but they're feeling it right now. They're not slowing down for anybody or anything. They're just using the Blitzkrieg effect, trying to overwhelm Goliath Gaming. They're not giving them any opportunity to set up. The spray from Dweezil's good for 1. But it's just ATK trading favorably time and time again until ADM sets the 2 teams apart. He takes down Fady. There's no response. It's actually very even 2 versus 2 when you see both the Dara and Slowy are very low, while Doru and ADM got near full health. Doru on the angle right now, playing in the dark cubby, while Slowy's above him, trying to work his way into control room. If he can get in, that would be huge, but he gets caught off guard. Now it's Doru in the clutch. He spots ADM out, brings him low, and Adara has to force the issue. He doesn't have a kit. He's going to tap the bomb. And Doru's just toying with him right now, recognizing he's got all the time in the world to play with, and he's won the clutch. First gun round goes the way of ATK.
And they win it with a lot of max still on the board. They had to reinvest, especially on Fady, who had lost an AK in that second round, which was actually quite a nice little economic knock, but that's basically been dealt with. And even though it's one player survived on either team, Goliath just nothing in hand to play with. And this was my worry for them, is these 3 rounds in a row have already set up ATK for quite a good half. If they can get even 6 or 7 here, they probably switch sides and just close out the map. And I think they're going to get a lot more than that.
Again, look at this approach. My word. Again, just 4 players charging through ramp, overwhelming Elusive. And what this is doing is it's going to force Goliath Gaming to eventually adjust their setup and say, all right, well, we have no choice. We have to play 2 players ramp now because they're consistently overwhelming the defense. And then that's when ATK are going to change up again. They're going to hit the upper bomb side quickly, or they're going to wrap around through outside. And this is what's so great when you get ahead on the T side and you have an EGL who keeps changing things up. You really start to stay ahead of the game, and you can really just pull ahead very quickly in those sort of situations. Lots of damage done, but nothing fatal. So ATK keep all 5 players alive, and this is where ATK become very dangerous as a T side, because they get the momentum behind them, and they become very tough to read and very tough to stop. Let's see, do Goliath Gaming add the second player towards ramp, or is Elusive maybe going to think they don't do it a 3rd time, surely, so let's just keep 1 player here again. And it's going to be the latter.
ATK, though, with such a commanding start here, 4 in a row is really nice. They're going to be liking that position. There's a trade outside which favors them, and ADM gets taken down, one of the Goliath impact players, so I'm going to feel pretty good about that starting. Would have been obviously ideal to keep Slayer alive, but still round in their favor right now. Elusive going to take a peek outside, and he's going to get taken down by Doru. Fady manages to get in through the hut and do some damage as well, and look at his position now in the middle of sight.
Perfect.
Nothing that Dweezil's going to be able to do here, and that's 3 of them getting through the round, and with really good saves as well. AWP and the 2 AKs. This is looking super rough for GG right now.
Yeah, this is a tough ask for Goliath Gaming, considering that they're still in the very early stages of this team's sort of lifespan, and they're coming together still in the really early stages, trying to go up against ATK on Nuke. When they've got a lead like this, it becomes a very difficult situation because you don't really have much to fall back on. When your initial defense isn't working, it's not like you have other layers that you can try and bring to the fore. They're going to go for a lobby crunch here as they find the first kill. You can see 2 players going to be coming through from hut, and then 2 players crunching through ramp, and it's worked out perfectly. 3 quick kills go the way of Goliath Gaming, and Elusive finds another with the AWP. And finally, they get a reprieve here on Nuke, because it's just Dory left alone in the clutch, 1 versus 4. And this is damage control from here. He needs to try and stop these players from saving as many weapons as they've got. He's got time on his side. And the bomb not. He has got a smoke, though, at least. So, I mean, maybe he can try and find an avenue of entry into this. Oh, the bomb's actually on the outside of lobby. That's huge. And look at the crossfire Goliath Gaming have set up right now. A player in T-spawn and a player on top. So, yeah, this is surely impossible right now for Dory. He's just hoping that somebody overextends or gives him something, perhaps. But not happening right now.
If he walks into this, it's almost 100% a kill for Adaru and Dweezil. If he can get some damage here, though, that would be great. Only 2 saved guns from the round would be okay-ish, I suppose, considering they started off with the 5-0. Or is going to continue creeping around over here. He's aware that there will be a crossfire, and he gets the first. He manages to secure the bomb, which is quite nice, and it does look like they're going to try and pressure him. Oh, he almost gets spammed through the bottom there. And, no. Hi, Elusive. How you doing?
And it's so awkward because even though Elusive misses his first 2 shots, so Doru keeps sticking the plants, and he just looks at him like, oh crap, I'm dead, aren't I? But at least he gets a couple kills, right? So that Goliath Gaming aren't able to save 3 rifles. It's just the 2, but a great way for Goliath Gaming to get on the board. And I'm a big fan of the lobby crunch as well in your eco rounds. And they timed it to perfection. The players coming up ramp were the first ones to take contact. And then you see the 2 players coming out of huts, and they just overwhelm the T's. So good start for Goliath in the way that they get on the board. They need to complement that with a round win here, though, and string a couple together.
Look at ADM and missed him outside. ADM spotted his barrel. Missed him is just standing true. He's going to win the duel. Oh, they're going to stalemate it by the looks of things. And Muslim's going to press the issue and he gets flashed out. So nice, he's going to get taken down. And that's a nice 2k on the opening of things for GGN. This is the best position they've been in so far, besides their last round. Which, they set up quite nicely. And there's a very ill-advised jump out there from Vady to check the corner. Yusuf just cleaning them up. And they get one in reply, but there's 3 players in the after for Blaze to contest with. He gets one, but Dweezil there with the trade.
Okay.
So, nice clean-ish round. That's a bit better.
We need to roll the giveaway.
It is
We need to announce the winner of the 250 Rand Steam voucher. So, entries are closed. We're going to have another giveaway coming up in a bit of time as well for an Eve Tech backpack. But we're rolling the giveaway for the 250 Rand Steam voucher. So let's see who's going to be taking that home and picking up some cool games during this up-and-coming Christmas sale, the autumn sale perhaps. But right now the focus is on the CT side for Dust 2. Congratulations, Alia. You've won yourself the 250 Rand Steam voucher courtesy of Evesports. And right now, Elusive with a job to do towards Ramp. They're trying to overwhelm him. He's good for one. And he lands the dink on Blaze. So surmountable damage done in his valiant effort. And there's already a flank coming through here as well. This is Fady left by himself. And he doesn't stand a chance. These past couple rounds have been very convincing from Goliath on the defense. They're actually shutting down this aggression by ATK at the choke points. They're not allowing ATK to overwhelm these players defending Ramp and Hut and Squeaky. They're standing tall in the defense and finding the kills necessary to stagnate their aggression.
Look, one thing ATK hasn't done just yet is the full smoke wall outside, and we saw them use it for 4 or 5 round wins on their T side against Energy, and I think they've been saving it up probably for their next buy round. If it doesn't come out the next buy round, I'll be quite surprised. It actually comes out right now even, and they set up the smoke wall as if to convince them that this is where they're going. And they're going to instead move towards Ramp, where Elusive is lying in wait, but he's going to get taken down by Blaze and Fady, and there is support over there across from him under Heaven, or in Hell at least, and it's Mr. Dweezil who's going to get one and mollied off. They managed to secure the ramp control for 2 of their players, which isn't too bad on an eco, and with a traded rifle, they up their chances of being a bit more effective. But Zip now from behind pillar is going to be tried and tested, and what's he going to be able to do? Absolutely nothing, says Doru. Doru, though, catches slowly as he's going out of Hut. Now it's a Doru and Blaze, and they get the sight, and both of them have rifles.
Oh my god, no! Oh my word, Doru!
Oh my word, he gets both of them, and now it's just Weasel, and as soon as he shoots even one time, they're going to know exactly where it is. They're going to move into better positions, and they win the 2v3.
Yeah, that's very costly. Goliath Gaming seems like that everything going in their favor there. They deal damage on the initial defense. They keep tabs of exactly what ATK are doing. It just feels like they're constantly moments away from winning that round. But a really big play there from Doru. He pushes through the smoke. And Goliath Gaming, they knew the smoke had bloomed, so they didn't at all expect someone to be on the angle. So as the players are pushing forward, even though they have decent spacing, neither one of them are ready to actually take the fight. And they line up in the end, and Doru's able to find both, and the round's pretty much won from there. So that's a big let-off, an eco round win for ATK. And allows them to continue this charge on the T side. If they win this round, they can really start to pull ahead. Big round here for Goliath Gaming. A lot bigger for Goliath than it is for ATK. If they lose this, it's not really the end of the world. They got enough money to buy up again. And Dweezil's been hurt here by Mistem. And he just swings out, takes off his head. And he realizes immediately that that's going to be a big gap now towards the B bomb side as he charges his way forward. Slowing down any rotations as well. It's Elusive who's the first responder, but he has no health. And he's in no man's land as well. Couldn't get in position in time. And you love to see it from Mistem. As soon as he gets the kill, he knows he can't waste any time. The opportunity is there, and that opportunity will eviscerate if you don't immediately capitalize on it. It seems like Goliath want to try and have a crack at this retake. 2 players coming from ramp, 1 coming from secret. It's the players from ramp who are looking to take first contact. ADM edging his way forward, but he's just going to edge and to slow his crosshair. And that's going to be enough to convince the remaining 2 players to save their rifles. Man, that's such a big punish kill on Dweezil, because that's sort of what sets the whole round in motion for ATK.
I really didn't like him going up so close with the orb, to be honest. It's not the best position there. There's not a lot of re-peeking opportunities, especially in the channel. And Doru just makes it that much more painful by making sure that there's no more rifles being brought through. Everybody in his team can buy quite comfortably. He can even do a drop if need be, so that they can be a bit better util on Mistim. So they're looking very comfortable right now. 7-3.
Check
They get a
Doru
nice
as well.
2 in a row. Doru, yeah, exactly. He was actually quite quiet last map, right? And now 13 for 5, like 138 ADR. Dude is smashing.
Yeah. He normally is one of the more quiet players, but that's because he's got teammates like Slowy and Fady. But it's great to see that when it's needed, he's able to stand up as well and get the fragging job done for his team. And we're going to be seeing this lobby crunch attempt again coming through from Goliath Gaming. However, this time, ATK have got numbers. They say, okay, guys, let's just send 4 players in lobby and wait for the crunch to come through. And I'm pretty sure if we can just match their numbers, we'll win the round because we have far superior weaponry. So ATK, they go up 8-3. Going to be another gun round here. And this is the gun round that determines whether this half is going to start to completely slip away from Goliath, or if they still have something in the tank yet to contest and make something of this half. Because if they lose this 9-3, no money, probably 10-3 from there. And that's ATK very, very comfortable with still a couple rounds to play. So let's see if Goliath Gaming can stand tall here in this defense. Slow sort of default here from ATK to start things off in the round. And Mistim has worked his way through the outside smoke, and he just keeps on pushing around. There's a number of smokes here as well, so Goliath probably going to be anticipating quite a lot of presence, and Mistim, he just keeps pushing his way through smoke after smoke, but Dweezil was ready and waiting. And now that he's been taken down, his teammates have no choice. They have to push their way through ramp. Elusive, instead of taking the fight, has decided to value his life instead and back to defend the B bomb site, but he's not able to find any kills before he goes down, although his teammates are, and that's certainly been aided by the damage he found onto Slowy. 2 versus 4. Surely ATK can't get this done again. Zipzip, he's an important player right now in the round. He's going to find 1, and Dweezil gets in position to trade. Great round from Goliath across the board.
Much needed as well. They do pull it across the line, but every death right now is just so expensive in the long run. They're going to bottom out their economic situation again, and if they trip at any point throughout this half, you can almost write off these last 3 rounds, and they really need to secure them. 8-7, I would say, is a minimum for them right now to have the hope of staying in contention for this map. ATK's attack still insanely good. Missed them. Gets taken down by Dweezil. Dweezil is a good first kill. Still dangerous position, so he's going to withdraw from there, which is the wise maneuver.
Oh, they're trying to
another one comes out. But there is a player in between him and the bomb site. It's Fady, who's already made his way into the middle of the site, and there's a play towards Hatcha, but he's not going to be able to contest too much.
Oh man,
he's going to get peeked, and he's going to take him down though, and that's the bomb. Fady now left in a 1v3, and there we go. That's a bit more like it from Goliath. They managed 2-3 player surviving rounds in a row, and now we can see that bank's starting to build up a little bit. They should be able to. Well, it's looking a lot better for their 8-7 at the end of this half.
Yeah, it certainly would make them feel a lot better about themselves as we do go into the penultimate round here of this second map. So I think as things start edging forward, let's just announce the next giveaway here, Reese, because we don't know if we're going to be here for a third or not, and we don't want to be wasting any prime opportunities to let the people enter as Blaze opens things up, but there is a trade. So I'm going to be speaking over the action for a couple of seconds. Guys, if you type EGL1 in chat, you're going to be able to enter yourself into a giveaway and stand a chance of winning the Eve Tech backpack courtesy of Evesports. So we're opening that up. We'll be announcing the giveaway towards the end of this map. So make sure you stick around if your name's announced as the winner and you're not here. We're going to be re-rolling. Giveaway is also only open to people in South Africa. So get your entries in. Your previous entry on the first giveaway does not count for this giveaway. Have to type the word once again. And Dweezil looking to try and clutch this one out. He does land the first shot on Blaze, but they know exactly where he is now. Full health for both Mistim and Doru. And I love the angle they take. They just double up there. So as soon as Dweezil comes around the corner, he does get taken down. And even if he found a quick kill, the trade was always on the table. But guys, just remember, EGL1 in chat, no spaces in the word. And you got to spell out the letter O-N-E, just like everybody's typing. EGL-O-N-E, no space. Get yourself in the giveaway to stand a chance to win the backpack. 9-5, ATK, Reese. Just continue to assert their dominance here on the T side of Nuke.
They're just too good, man, at this. This is, and they flow and pace and reading of the enemy's position. Even the rounds that they lose, they learn so much in them, and it's so clear just by their performance in the following round. And they get another good opening. albeit with Doru taking significant damage, 9 whole HP left on him. The Swift Breeze is going to be enough, and it's going to come from Dweezil as he blows him over. But 4v4, I mean, ATK have done more with less, and look at the guns for Goliath right now.
Oh,
it's just
man.
really bottomed out, and Fady making it even harder for them. Dweezil going to move now in position. Fady's well aware that this will be an opportunity for a trade, and Dweezil gets it though, which is good for them. 25 HP left in him. Adaru with 100. Slowly in Blaze though, with all the util in the world that they could ever need to take the bomb side. Dweezil's challenging on 25 HP. I really don't like this right now. And he finally withdraws himself into the heaven position. But his teammate is quite far away, and it's going to be difficult for them to contest this bomb plant. Blaze does have a double flash and a smoke, so they've still got options, and Slowly's just not going to give Dweezil any, and takes his head clean off. Daru comes flying in from heaven, and I'm sure they've heard him at this point. Slowy gets some good damage onto him, sets Blaze up for the clutch, and he manages to pull it through. And a 10-5 half now for ATK. That's big.
Yeah, that's I would have even said like 9-6 Goliath would have been okay with, but 10-5 is just like where it crosses the threshold and becomes a halftime score line that's heavily in the favor of ATK. And why I say that is because I think Goliath are going to be feeling pretty good about their T side. But 10-5, man, that's a really solid half from ATK. And what's kind of ironic is the rounds that they look the best in are the rounds that they sort of were a little bit more free-flowing and played with a little bit more aggression and pertness behind them, where they're just playing their slow passive defaults. Those are the rounds that Goliath were able to sort of pick them apart and get across the line. So let's see, what do Goliath Gaming have in store right now for their pistol round? Mistim is going to be their first point of contention. They do take him down, but there's a couple other players here lined up as well outside, but the wraparound comes through in towards the say bomb site from Goliath Gaming. Not wasting any time right now, trying to force the issue over on A, but it's Blaze who finds 2 fantastic shots. Slowy picks up one of his own, and before Elusive can even figure out what's going on, he's left by himself in this 1 versus 4 clutch, so he turns into a 1v3. But just so many different players to contend with, so many different angles, so many crossfires set up right now. This just seems near impossible. As he's dancing around himself around the bomb site, he's actually like at least identified their locations and their positions, but not connecting on the shots. He's going to go straight through the smoke with the Glock, and Doru lands the shots. And the pistol round was super important for Goliath Gaming when you consider the standing of the game right now, because 10-5 is okay if you win the pistol, right? But the fact that they lose the pistol just sets ATK up to really close the game out from here.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to do the ultra aggressive plays that you are able to do on Nuke as a T when the CTs don't have utility and don't have automatic guns. And now they've got exactly that as we lead into this round. So while they are going to find a lot of space outside here and definitely get across into secret, as soon as they run into an automatic rifle, it's almost guaranteed 2 or 3 kills going down. A bomb plant here would be fantastic though for them. It would help them out a lot, and they are going to be able to get it over here in the lower section. But here come those automatics, and Fady and Slowy just destroy them.
Wow.
They do manage to get it, but it's nothing because everybody dies. So any money or carryover that they would have had, it becomes kind of nullified. The money goes over to ATK. They do get a buy around here. Even if they win this, ATK take a breather for 2 rounds and come out with AWPs after that?
Yeah, I mean, they also find all 5 of the frags in the previous round with MP9s, by the way. So that's $3,000 that they get. As opposed to if it was rifles, they would have just had 1,500. So that extra 1,500 goes a long way in padding up the util, making sure everyone's got kits, everyone's got head armor. Yeah, a bit of misutil there. Not going to be costing them too much, though. But look at this buy, right? I mean, if Goliath can't win this round, Reese, how on earth are they going to be winning rounds against AWPs and rifles? This is 4 MP9s and a FAMAS. Literally not one prime weapon of choice on the CT side. And you can see ATK, they're trying to make a play here. They recognize that they've got this lack of weaponry, the deficiency in weaponry. They have to try and do something. And they sort of go for the lobby crunch, right, with the SMGs. But it's Goliath who trade favorably. Still though, Fady making his way up ramp. Timing might work out from here, but it's no. Zip has the angle on lockdown. And Blaze is going to come through as he suffers the same fate. So Goliath Gaming, without even having to do all that much in the round, should be getting across the line. Yeah, it's just Mistim left. And he's going to be able to take the fight here with ADM, but the AK reigns supreme. And Goliath Gaming win that all-important gun round. They got to start things off now, Reese, and make a bit of a run here to get themselves back into this half.
Yeah, look, they need a decent, like 4 or 5 in a row, right? They need to get at least up to 12-10. to put themselves back in contention here. But ATK just so vicious, and they've done the force bar onto the ult. They are a little bit light on util, all things considered. Dory with literally nothing to his name, but it's not going to matter when Slowy hits the first shot through the smoke, manages to get a kill, and Dweezil gets put on 21 HP from a molly. So, fantastic start to their opening of their round here. ADM going to make it just a little bit painful, though. He's super, super low as well. So, two of their players, ultra, ultra low.
Oh!
Elusive outside almost manages to pull off a kill, but
that's a big kill.
Zip goes down, and Elusive and Dweezil left.
Yeah. And they know exactly where Elusive is as well, and he's going to go down to Fady. ATK love playing outside like this. This time around, they have got the AWP there from Slowy, but they love just setting up crossfires with rifles outside, and Slowy with the AWP is going to close things out. But that's just such a massive response coming through from ATK after losing the previous round. They're like, cool, that was just MP9s on the FAMAS. Now we've got rifles, we've got the AWP, we've got everything we could hope for. And they just completely slam dunk Goliath. And Goliath, they're going to be compelled to go for the buy up here. It's going to be a couple AKs, a couple Mac-10s, no util on Dweezil bar the smoke. And this is do or die. This is the 11th hour. If they lose this round, that's the end of the map and the end of the series. And ATK marching into the grand final. Remember, guys, the grand final is going to be this Sunday at 5 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Reese, correct me if I am. And then on Saturday, we have the lower bracket final.
Going at noon.
Noon? Okay. All right. There we go. So I was incorrect.
Noon.
Was corrected. Doru looking to try and correct his aim as he finds his first note. Slowy who robs him, and Doru's just going to chase them down. He's like, why on earth aren't you guys even shooting at me? Notice me, senpai. And finally they do pivot 180 and they take the fight. He's just trying to be a bit of a thorn in their side right now. Elusive finds a big kill there, and Zip doubles up with the frag on top of that. So actually, again, it's not even like Goliath are doing anything special to win the round. It's more just ATK gifting themselves up, taking unnecessary fights. Fady in the vents, he's going to find the first. Nearly gets a spray transfer as well. Zip survives with 1 point of health. And that's just such an important situation for him to win, because if he goes down there, Fady probably wins the round, because it's bomb dropped in vents, it's 1v1, and that's just such a difficult situation to navigate. So Goliath, they keep themselves alive. But like I said, just to reiterate it, sorry, we got the grand final on Sunday. 25,000 Rand to first place, 12,500 Rand to second place. Lower bracket final on Saturday. That's DNMK versus the loser of this game. What time's that match on Saturday, Reese? While we got an eco, yeah, we can just speak over.
Both will be at noon. We're going
okay, so
noon.
12 p.m. sharp, or 12 p.m. sharp.
Yeah, we'll probably go live with the first match at 12:30. The stream will launch at 12 o'clock. So,
perfect.
And
it's a best of 3.
Quarter past.
Best of 3 for the lower bracket final. Best of 5 for the grand final.
Yes.
Map advantage for the team who comes through the upper bracket or not?
No map advantage.
Okay,
simply for the fact that the lower bracket team has had to play more games.
Yeah,
so they'll have a bit more fatigue anyway. Yeah. So they're already coming in with a bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah,
so
I get that school of thought. Yeah, I'm on board with that mentality. I mean, a best of 5 where a team has a 1 map advantage is like a kind of, in a sense, it takes away from the anticipation of the game a little bit, I think. Especially when it's a team like ATK. You're like, okay, ATK, if the fact that you're already better than everybody else isn't enough, let's also give you a map advantage, you know? But on the flip side of that, it's like, the team is going to feel like they've been a little bit hard done by because they come to the upper bracket and they don't get that some sort of an advantage. But I agree with you. They don't have to play that extra best of 3. They don't have to stress that extra situation. They can sit back, relax, watch their opponents, anti-strat, drink their Coke Zero on the Saturday without any stress or pressure.
Don't forget the Doritos.
Get the Doritos in there as well. Are you a sweet chili man? I hope you're a sweet chili man. I hate if I was casting with somebody that's not a sweet chili man. It's the blue Doritos all the way.
I'm a sweet chili man, but can I tell you something that's actually very impressive? Our boy Casimir managed to finish a flaming hot bag in 1 sitting. I got about halfway and I gave up because that thing is ridiculous.
Come on,
have you tried the flaming hot?
Oh, Kazi, you and I are on the same boat, my man. Bring on that hot food every day of the week. Love my curries, and I want it as hot as possible every time.
Try that.
Go to Nando's, ask for extra hot. That's how manly man I am. I get extra hot at Nando's. And then I put my toilet paper in the freezer. Oh man, it's a save round here for ATK. And actually, I thought, alright, we get to just go off on a bit of a tangent, but they're making moves. They've picked up an AWP, or they got the AWP on Slowy. Doru's picked up an AK. Elusive has missed his jump there. So he takes a bit of extra damage and gives some info away, but Doru gets caught with his back turned as Zipzip waltzed his way into the vacant A bomb site. And Slowy, he gets tagged by that grenade, so they know that he's there. It's now just Mr. Malone left in the 1v3, and unfortunately for him, Adaro, who's the low HP player, is not going to be crossing his path. Oh man, great shot there, but Elusive trades it out. That was a really important kill to find, because if Mistum gets the AK and gets out of dodge, who knows what happens from there. 9-13, Reese, as we go into this all-important gun round.
Yeah, and they're opting for another Slowy AWP, which is definitely a good idea. It's pretty much his most prolific weapon, right? And everybody on ATK pulling out all the stops right now, all of them positive for the most part. I mean, if you include Slowy's assists, and well, there we go. That's another move towards his tally being positive. He hits actually through the wall there. He kills Elusive as he's dropping down. Miston gets one, and he gets a second. Oh no, it's fallen apart. Now it's just Zip left in a 1v4. That flick from Slowy as the man dropped down was disgusting. 338 Lapua right in the ear. Even the players can't believe it themselves. The GG players losing their minds in the chat.
Yeah.
Because that was fast.
Like, how do you play against that? What can you do about that? There's just some things in Counter-Strike that you can't account for. And Slowy no scopes it's just one of them. It's like one of those phenomenons that we haven't worked out yet in the field of science. You've got teams and teams studying his demos, but no one's come up with the answer yet. 14-9. Again, ATK, they just continue to keep Goliath Gaming in limbo on the back foot. Even though things look good and they have a run, they just bring it into it, right? And they just maintain themselves in that comfortable position here. 2 rounds away from securing this match and securing themselves a spot in the grand final. Guys, we do have a giveaway running at the moment for an EveTech backpack. EGL1 is the keyword, no space, spell out the letter O-N-E. And then you can get yourselves entered into the giveaway. Subscribe to the channel for a second giveaway. Right now, it's ATK who are not giving away the A bomb site. Blaze stands tall in the defense with the double. Fady picks up a kill of his own. And it looks like it's ATK who are going to be securing themselves a map and match pointer going into the 25th round. Unless Elusive and Adaro can conjure up something magical here in the 2 versus 3. We're going to be announcing the winner of the giveaway in the next round, everybody. So make sure you hang around for that. Last opportunity to enter. We're going to be closing it after this round. I wonder how long Elusive's going to be making this round. Is he going to be making it interesting? That one tap is beautiful, that's for sure. Always gorgeous to watch a one tap like that. But ATK, they get the information. They're like, all right, we know where you are. We got all the areas on the map on lockdown right now. These lockdown regulations are strict, Reese. This is Uncle Cyril level of lockdown. Bringing in all the restrictions. Elusive, he's trying to break the law here. Trying to find an entry towards ramp, and he does a good job in finding damage, but he takes a lot of damage in the process as well. And with only 24 seconds left here, this is getting more and more difficult. He's inflicting damage, but he's not able to find these kills. He will be able to take down Slowy. Could drop into the B bomb site here if he so chooses. Upgrades to the AWP, recognizing he's got such low health that he wants to try and have a weapon where he can just get the quick frag and then take the fight with the second player. But he's a dead man walking, unfortunately, because he plants in the open. ATK know they just have to double peek him. Even if he's faking, they'll get the kill. 15-9. ATK map away from securing themselves a spot in the grand final.
They also did manage to run down the clock there, did ATK, and force Elusive to make that play. He was trying to plant there with 8 seconds left on the clock, which is, I think, why he just went straight for it, to try and keep that round alive. But ATK in position to swing out and get those kills. And now look at the buy that they have. P250s, Deegs, and a MAC-10 to try and keep themselves alive here in the winner's bracket. Just seems very ill-fated. And I mean, just with look at the amount of damage that they take as they cross over towards Secret, and who's waiting for them down there but Slowy, and he's got a molly and an AWP, and they're going to try and jump through it, and that's not how you do it.
Game over.
They get taken down. It does look very game over until ADM shows a little bit of life. He does manage to get a headshot. Elusive gets taken down in the interim. Missed him quite low HP, but he re-rotates outside. Actually finds himself quite an advanced position. He can catch off a couple of players from here as well. He's got support in mouth, and that's going to be enough. And
There we
ATK are
go.
going to take it 16-9 and go straight to
Yeah.
that grand final.
Guys, don't go anywhere. We've got the winning captain who's going to be coming in for an interview here, Mr. We're going to be able to have a few words with him. Let's quickly roll the giveaway, though, and see who's going to be taking home the EveTech backpack courtesy of Evesports. It is indeed Bot Donnie. So there we go, Bot Donnie. Congratulations. Hopefully that backpack's going to be put to good use. So, ATK, secure the win 2-0. Fairly comfortable, more so on Nuke than on Dust 2. But let's get Mr. in here and pick his brain and see what he has to say about the series. There he is, Gareth, making a bit of a trend of this, having winners interviews with you once again. Congratulations, winning the upper bracket final. Not the easiest of series. They definitely made you guys work as we cast our minds back to Dust 2, and where it all started. What did you make of the veto? Let's start there.
The veto went exactly as I predicted. I knew those were going to be the maps, not in that order.
Okay.
I thought they might pick Inferno over Dust, but I definitely knew that it will be Nuke, Inferno, and Dust. That's what I thought, but it was just the maps changed around. But yeah, it's what we expected.
So something that I've noticed with you guys a little bit is on a few maps, like, and I think that Dust 2 might be one of them. You guys sometimes to be like slow starters a little bit, but you've always got that you're never out of the game at all. And again, you guys were just trading rounds back and forth the whole time in the first half. What was the mentality in that team? Were you guys like still very calm and composed, or were you starting to get a little bit flustered there because the game was like so brawly and closely contested?
Yeah, I think the comms in the beginning were like really bad. We weren't really calming what we were doing. Team flashes were happening, trades and stuff along those lines weren't like what we used to. And then like around like the middle of the game, people started like overcomming, so there wasn't really that like balance of good comms. It was kind of like low and then it was too high. And then I think just like it's been a while since we've played an official, so I think just some external pressure as well on the
Okay.
players just like ended in that result. Yeah.
Reese?
Yeah, just one thing that I'm curious about as well is when you are starting off a nuke there and you continuously sort of run at them, when we normally see like smoke walls on your first buy rounds, as we did with the games against Energy and that sort of play. How much of that is sort of feeling out their positioning and finding out about their pace of the game?
Yeah, due to us just like running at them in the beginning, like we kind of wanted to just assert some of that dominance in the beginning. Like we kind of had the SMGs as well, like 2 to 3 rounds we had some SMGs. So we knew that if we could just get them on the back foot of economy, like we'll have a really big lead, and then we can start going into like the smoke walls and kind of manipulating rotations in certain ways. But beginning of those first rounds, like if we lose the pistol, for example, we're not going to really have the best guns. So just running into them, and let's say Elusive kills 4 of us when we rush ramp, we're going to then be at the back foot, and we're going to be losing like 0-5 or something. So just today we like won the pistol and we had the economy, like we had 3 SMGs, so we just decided we should just push ramp and like going down lower, taking double. We are like really close battles, so it's very favored for us to be winning around.
Yeah. There's a bit of a theme on your guys' T side tonight. Like, again, it's kind of how you start against most teams. You're like, cool, we're going to just test you with our 4-1s where we just run at you like a train. If you're not able to stop it, we're just going to carry on doing that to you for the half. And if like teams do like sort of counter that, then you're able to fall back on like the more structured game style. So was that, again, like you mentioned on Nuke, that was the plan? We saw something similar on Dust. Was that the idea all along, to just try and bully Goliath and win your T sides like that, and then shift it down again if you had to?
Yeah, for sure. We wanted to like do as much dominance as we can with the guns that we had.
Yeah.
Especially because CT economy and like today's meta is really bad. So if we can get them to save one gun or like kill all of them, it's going to be like really bad for them. So we tried to do our best in that regard.
Okay. Reese, any further questions?
No, just a big congratulations. You guys go through without having dropped a map. While I've got you here, I just have to be curious about what it was like in that 22-20 with Energy, facing continuous map point after map
That was a
point
Mirage.
against them. Mirage. Well, 22-20, a sort of scoreline. What was it like playing that 42 rounds of CS right there?
Yeah, it's I mean, honestly, we didn't really feel that much pressure, even though the scores were that close. Um, we've never played Energy on Mirage from what I can recall, and I don't think they're a team that's really practiced that much, especially in their old lineup with Lichlord and Tianki. They never really played Mirage, so
Yeah,
I think they played very loose, and yeah, they just hit every single shot. But going into the game and how close the rounds were, I think they lost the game and we didn't win it. Honestly, like they played really
yeah,
good throughout that
agreed.
entire series.
Hmm.
We should have actually lost Mirage, but at the end of the day, we got the win. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think a lot of pressure was on us, and yeah, everyone was composed.
That's just something I want to touch on and ask you about right now as well is, and it's something I talk about in the cast quite regularly, especially in the most recent months I've seen from you guys. You've got this like tenacity in the team where even when things aren't going your way and like you guys are like losing rounds you shouldn't be, you never really like get flustered. Like you even said in that game against Energy, you guys weren't even like getting stressed because it seems like you have this mentality in the team that you know you're always still going to win. It's like you
Yeah.
always have this, but even if we're down like 14-8 and it's like we're still going to win this game. Like that's what we do, right?
Yeah, I think like being so dominant this year, it kind of sounds a bit like egotistical, but because you're like so dominant, you just have the confidence going
Yeah,
into
that's not
every game.
egotistical, man. You have every
Um,
right to say that. You got a full
so
license
yeah, even if we're losing, we still know that. For example, like if we have a really bad CT side, I always tell the team like we know how good our T side is.
on
There's no
every
point
map.
in
Yeah,
getting down on anything, or vice versa. If we have a bad T
yeah,
side, we know how good our CT side is, and I think that was like a good example on Dust too. Like our CT side was 8-7, and then we had a 14-9 lead, and then they came back a bit, but it was a very big jump in rounds for us.
yeah.
So people just keep building confidence round after round.
Okay.
So yeah.
Awesome. All right, Reese. Well, any further thoughts, or are we going to let Gareth go and then we just wrap things up here ourselves?
No, big congrats, Mr.
Yep.
Mistem. Good maps, especially your guys' Nuke is very, very, very tight drum there. No leaks there coming through there easily, and it's a very impressive victory at the end of the day.
Thank you. I
Yep.
appreciate playing this tournament, and I look forward to who we verse in the final.
Yeah, so might be speaking to you again on Sunday.
Mm,
I think it would be a bit of an
mm,
upset if we didn't have another conversation on
mm.
Sunday, Mr. Mister. But yeah,
Yeah,
thanks again for sharing your thoughts. And
cool. Thanks, guys.
I'm sure I'll be seeing you a little bit later. But yeah, once again,
Yeah.
congrats, and we'll check you next time. So, Reese, that's all we have for the evening. What a great series we had from both Goliath Gaming and ATK. Goliath Gaming, they really pushed on Dust too. Like, I was very impressed by what I saw for them. They showed
Mm.
prominence on both the CT and the T side. It's not like they only put up one decent half. It was great on both halves, and there were moments where they actually could have won that map. So I think a lot of positives for Goliath Gaming to also take away from the series.
Definitely, I just looking at the scores, Adora having been at the top of the last maps that we cast of them quite comfortably, now just having a bit of a slower start, 0.89 rating and that sort of stuff definitely didn't help their cause. It's a tough position to be in when you're a bit of a slow starter on the map, but just Fady and Blaze really bailing them out in this one a lot of the time. They just sort of just consistent. That's the biggest thing to break of the ATK's momentum, is just their consistency, and it's something it looks like you just can't take it away from them. And both maps honestly go to within a round of the outset prediction, right? Just based on the general playing stuff. Goliath can fight and contest and that sort of stuff, but the value that ATK are able to find in their frags is just undeniable, and it's the result that we've seen here once again today.
Yeah, on top of that, all 5 of ATK's individuals are capable of popping off and doing the job that's needed. So like you said today, it was Blaze and Fady. We saw Doru have a great game on Nuke as well. Everybody knows what Mistem's capable of, and of course Slowy doesn't require any more explanation either. So like all 5 of these names are really performing at a great level right now. I'd say, in fact, all 5 of the players are at the prime in their career. Like maybe Fady is like the one person you could make a case for that in like 2017. Oh, Christmas beetle on my head. This is not rent-free for you, my guy. Yeah, point is that these guys are all looking very hot right now, and that's all for tonight, guys. So Reese, just give us your final thoughts, and then we're going to be ducking off for tonight.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Do hope you guys have enjoyed this cast, and we will be back then on Saturday with the
Yeah.
lower bracket final, which is it's the last chance for GG to re-meet their rivals. And
Yeah.
I think that it would be quite serendipitous, but they've got to get through AT or DNMK at least before
Yeah.
they can get there. And I think that's going to be quite a cracker.
Yeah,
But for tonight, it was an ATK show. They showed us why they've not dropped a map, and they continue to do so as they go into the grand final.
Yeah, there we go. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. We have culminated and completed all of the weekday matches. We've been hosting this event now for 5 weeks to reach this point. We started out with 16 teams, right, Reese? It was 16 right in the beginning, and we've whittled it down to just 3 teams left in the event. This 50,000 Rand competition sponsored by Intel, hosted by Evesports. We are down to the final weekend. We've got 2 matches left in the event. We've got the lower bracket final that is going to be on Saturday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a best of 3 between Goliath Gaming and DNMK. Winner of that will play against ATK in the grand final on Sunday. Best of 5, also at 12:30. Everything to play for. Make sure you join us. It's going to be an amazing weekend. We're really looking forward to it. So guys, once again, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evenings. And until Saturday, keep well, and we'll see you then.